the NPCs in the game that you're fighting against as a SWAT team, at one point in one mission called Valley of the Dolls, they will just say, the guys will just say, I don't give a fuck about the kids. What they say in the mission.
Okay.
At a party of like 18-year-olds and stuff. And there are plenty of clips right now of I can't say that,
Sure.
but of some actions being taken against those individuals, probably with an overuse of force.
Got it.
Great. And it is interesting because it creates this dynamic of gameplay that is it is full psychological. How's it going, everybody? It's good to see y'all again. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments down to the questions below based upon whatever they say on screen. All those lower thirds, everything that comes in and talks to y'all. While we can't today, pretty open-ended topic. We're going to talk about story versus gameplay. Jaden came in, gave us a great idea. We talked so long for about
Jaden's pretty bright, man. I like his perspective.
I do like Jaden, a very Nintendo-oriented individual, has a Switch, has I think you said 3 Switches, Switch ones.
He's a little biased, but it's okay. We all are.
we all are. So it's funny talking about, story versus gameplay with him because he talked a lot about how good Nintendo really is at creating gameplay and making that the core function of every game and yes, their stories may not be as fleshed out when it comes down to in comparison to other games, but their gameplay is unmatched by 90% of the industry currently. It's very difficult to find games that match the fun factor. The ability to pick up and play for Nintendo is a lot easier from game to game than a lot of games. We talk about what will happen to the ones we were talking about. Death Stranding being from Hideo Kojima, a mastermind, obviously, of video games and storytelling, with a background in cinematography and understanding cinematography. But his game, like even Jaden said it, isn't that the walking simulator?
I was offended. However, continue.
To me, that game, like we've said, like if you don't play Death Stranding, which again I hadn't for a long time. I just not recently now, but had just recently started playing it, and I was like, oh damn, I didn't realize you even fought in the game. I did think you just delivered shit. That's all I thought the game was. And then I started to play it, and I was like, damn. And then story develops, obviously, and you're like, damn. And they do a good job. Again, I wouldn't say Last of Us 2 too much because Jaden might end up playing it at some point, but Last of Us 2 does a good job of kind of creating this mental, I don't even know how to describe it, construction. I don't even know. Last of Us 2 makes you feel emotions from a video game that are so nuts that like it is weird when you finish the game or you play it again and you're like, holy shit, that's how I felt when I played the first time. Death Stranding is in a similar spot where like when you start playing the game out, it's more, I think, playing it one time you can feel a lot of it. You're playing it one time, you're like, damn dude, like this package is far as shit. Norman Reedus is probably like, damn, this package is far as shit when you play the game. And eventually, like in the context, I always say in the context of the game, because that's how I think. In the context of the game, Norman Reedus is like, God, bro, I hate this. I don't want to work for Briggs. I don't want to work for the USA or whatever they call it. I don't think it's called
Bridges.
USA. Bridges, my bad. I don't want to set up the new USA. I don't want to do all these things. However, I got to go save my sister.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I got to save my sister. I'm gonna deliver packages on the way, okay? The core gameplay of that game does involve a decent amount of walking. Obviously, as we've said before, especially the beginning of it when you're getting introduced to what the game is like normal. It's a lot of walking. I think of games like Witcher 3, games like, Skyrim. Again, I'm only naming open world, but because they're a little bit harder to pick up and play. But I think of we talked about Infinite on the last podcast.
Which one?
Halo Infinite.
Yes.
And that's a pretty good example of like gameplay kind of ass. Story in tandem was kind of mid. The story's okay. If you look more into it, it's kind of interesting, but it's just kind of interesting, especially in comparison to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Halo. Witcher 3, Witcher 2. Like a lot of people don't like there's a decent amount of people that find Witcher 3 gameplay difficult and it turns them off, and then the story doesn't matter. And to Jaden's point, that gameplay is more important than story. You grab more users when your gameplay is good. And your story can follow that if you're good at making a good story. Death Stranding has captivated. And I don't even know what genre, like, yes, it's open world. I have no idea what, fantasy, sci-fi, real life.
It falls under all of those.
It's so weird because they place it in a time where it's actually like not that far in the future. It's like it's like 100 years in the future.
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
If that, yeah. It's not that far in the future. And it's interesting because the gameplay of that is strong if you play it and kind of are okay with the way it plays. Like if you're okay with those styles of games, a little bit slower, a little bit more development in the storyline, then it's fine. Which I do think, again, to Jaden's point, in order to develop a good story, I think you have to limit the gameplay at the beginning to make it digestible.
Say that one more time.
In order to get someone to enjoy a story like Death Stranding, you have to make the gameplay fairly simple and, like he said before, kind of stiff, so that you are taking in what is. I mean, you hop into Death Stranding and you're like, what the? It's more what the f than probably any game I've ever played.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, of course, for myself going in, it's Hideo Kojima's game. And so going in, I already know what to expect as far as I know it's going to be bizarre. I know it's going to be different, right? And I'm expecting a great story.
Yeah.
But when I consider the point of great story and great gameplay or the huge fun factor, right? It's bringing Death Stranding 1 and Death Stranding 2. And Death Stranding 2 is far less walking, by the way. Just want to let you know that.
Okay, heard.
Far less walking.
It's fine. I didn't care about it.
No, but
I'm going from back east to back up north. It
does happen.
From the west coast to the east coast in one right now. So yeah.
So I mean, there is I think with Nintendo, we talked about this. I do believe that with Nintendo games, many of them have good stories, but I think that the company does focus more on the fun factor, far superior to that of a balance of it has to have a great story and it has to have fun gameplay.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of developers miss the mark, where they want to make a great game because when they saw the concept of the game, right?
Correct.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. But then you're going to put that game into my hands as a gamer. And now how is that going to translate through my hands
to me
ergonomically correct? And then experience this, right? And of course, I've said this and I'll keep saying this until they fail. Sony does a good job with their first party games of offering that nice balance.
Yeah, definitely a balance, 100%.
Of great gameplay and great story that really makes for this great gumbo-like experience, right? But then on the table, you have the question of, what would you prefer?
Correct, yeah.
Right? I prefer the perfect mix of both the integration. But then you have, I'm not going to say Nintendo's on the extreme side, but I would say Nintendo's closer to being on one whole entire side of the coin. Whereas, I can show you plenty of Nintendo first-party games that have a cool story, right? Are the stories compelling? To me, subjectively, no.
Yeah.
All right? However, the gameplay, as soon as I pick up the controller, 20 minutes won't go by and I'm not having fun. With a Nintendo first-party game, I'm having fun off the rip.
Immediately.
Off
it
the
don't
rip.
matter what it is.
You're having fun.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas, if it's not a Nintendo-centric game and you're on your PlayStation, Xbox, or maybe your PC, right? And you pick up the game, there's maybe a tutorial process. You're getting through it. You're trying to figure out if it's fun or not or whatever, right? And it doesn't have that nostalgia guarantee, that Nintendo guarantee.
And to me, it's interesting. It's interesting when I think about it because, like, I picked up Witcher 3 times. Third time I finished it.
Okay.
First 2 times though, like that third time, bro, I was like, God damn it, I got to go through this goddamn tutorial again.
Sure.
I knew I had to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 hours of gaming. That's not a short tutorial. You're learning, and I'm watching the damn cutscene where Ciri's running through the thing, and you got to run through the whole castle again. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude, I hate watching this cutscene. Like it's the third time I've watched this. I don't give a shit, honestly. I've seen this 3 times.
Right.
Whereas again, I think of like Breath of the Wild. I played through the beginning of Breath of the Wild. Multiple times. If you're like, hey, you gotta play through the Breath of the Wild 10 times, you'll get to play the rest of the game on the 10th time. I'm like, oh, okay, so dude, I'm chill with it. I'm fine. It don't matter.
Sure.
And again, like that idea again, because there's plenty. Again, I think there's plenty of games that are, I think, of ready or not right now. Okay.
Wow. I haven't played it yet, but I watch a lot of it. I want to play it so bad.
It's wild. Okay. Gameplay of that game is grim. It is like it's fun to play. It is I guess the story of that game, the feel of that game is grim. But it plays nice.
I want to play that. Yeah.
I mean, there are some crazy clips out there right now. I ain't even going to say because they're not okay to say on.
It looks so good.
It is pretty nuts. But to me, like the gameplay of that game, I mean, that's a PC only game.
Would you say that's more of a simulator with story being secondary?
Yeah, I don't even know if I would even say secondary story. Like so it's interesting. The beginning of the game,
is there a story with it?
It's a environmental story. So it's the first mission you play connects then to the rest of the game in some fashion.
Oh, so it is all the way. It is connected.
So it's interesting because the way that it works in Ready or Not, it's all just environmental. So you walk into the gas station that has, I won't say the words because we'll get banned on certain things, but there's a girl cowering for her life. Her mom makes a call. If you walk into the front office, there's a gentleman there who is no longer alive, and he's the store clerk. His phone's going off. Because his wife's calling because there's a news story that's going on that is getting sent to everyone about this robbery at a gas. This is all happening in the game. There's a robbery going on at this gas station. The wife sees it. You're just insinuating these things because his phone is going off and it's his wife on the phone.
Got you.
You walk then into the diner in the back. It's a vet and his dog. They're both not alive as well. You see it's interesting. So there's a whole thing going on in Ready or Not. There's an election going on. There's all this stuff.
Sure.
There's increased crime rate, increased different things. There's a rapper in the first mission at the gas station that then is connected to the second mission. Then you find out from the second mission that the guy in that one is sending inappropriate photos to this massive ring of criminals. And then that's how the game progresses. None of that is told to you. It is all by insinuation and by finding certain things within the game.
I love the way that sounds.
And it's fun.
Okay.
But if you can just play through, Ready or Not, you're a SWAT team and you go and clear out criminals.
And what's interesting is when I see previews of it, that's all.
That's all.
What you just mentioned.
Whole different dimension. Dynamic of the game.
Okay, see, and that's where.
My bad for going on a tangent about Ready or Not. I do love the game though.
But you didn't go on a tangent. I think you're really talking to the point of this particular themed podcast for this episode. And that is, when you think about story and gameplay, all I've seen of Ready or Not is just
straight gameplay.
Compelling gameplay. Play, right? I'm like, wow. I've seen a guy play, and then I've seen a gentleman play with his friends. I've seen a young lady playing with her friends, and they're talking. And for me, I look at it like, wow, it's a great tactical experience. I do ask the question, I wonder what the story is going to be like, or is it just objective based? But what you're talking about now makes it even more compelling for myself.
Correct.
Because subjectively, I love story.
What is interesting is if you it's just a lot of digging.
Yeah.
Which is by design. I mean, you're a SWAT team, bro. You're barely finding out shit about. Well, you think about context of the game. Like I always say, context of the game, bro. There has been a shooting and armed individuals at a gas station. Okay. We're sending SWAT to go deal with it.
And you're part of SWAT, so you're not in the position to have all of the information.
Yeah, you would figure that shit out after. You'd be like, oh, damn. So, which is how the game feels. Then from that first mission, you figure out that there's I don't remember exactly the layover from one mission to the next. But again, like the rapper somehow, I think is in contact with the guy in the second one who was sending inappropriate photos.
Yeah. And
you don't know that unless you go and look at if you S tier a mission in Ready or Not, you get a piece of evidence. If you guys don't know this, it's why you want to S tier a lot of missions in Ready or Not.
S tier.
So it's like a regular ranking system, F, D, C, B, A, S.
And if you don't do that, you don't get
the evidence that goes in the evidence locker. You can go to the evidence locker after you S tier a mission, and it'll give you a little extra piece of lore, basically.
Okay.
That is more lore oriented, less maybe lore and story oriented. Okay. There are missions later in the game that are like the NPCs in the game that you're fighting against as a SWAT team. At one point in one mission called Valley of the Dolls, they will just say, the guys will just say, I don't give a quote. I'm not saying this. Quotes here, okay? Let's make sure that's clear. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck about the kids, okay? What they say in the mission.
Okay.
At a party of like 18-year-olds and stuff. I don't give a fuck about the kids, okay?
Right.
And there are plenty of clips right now of I can't say that.
Sure.
But of some actions being taken against those individuals, probably with an overuse of force.
Got it.
Okay? Probably the best way I can say that, okay?
I love it. Okay.
Great. And it is interesting because it creates this dynamic of gameplay that it is full psychological. There is no gameplay oriented. These guys, like, they are arrested individuals. So they say that, and dudes turn around and take some unauthorized force out on those individuals.
So would you classify that sequence under the umbrella of story?
That mental decision, I would classify.
But no. But Finish what you're gonna say. So that psychological
that decision making from person to person, I think, is a piece of gameplay that I do not have from any other game I've ever played in my life.
You don't associate that with story.
I don't take that decision making more than anything. I have a homie, bro. He just blows doors open and shoots the shit out of people in that game. And I'm like, bro, throw a flash in so we can arrest people. Right. That's two different mental capacity decisions.
Interesting.
And to me, that gameplay is what adds to that
story
feeling of story. Yeah. But that gameplay that's backed up, hey, you got to make these choices. Like, it's a video game, but like, I mean,
tough choices.
Yeah, you're executing individuals if you want. You can. It will not punish. I mean, it'll punish you. But it's realistic. If you want,
sure.
But dudes could do that in real life. If they go stop a drug ring and just be like, sorry, they showed excessive force against us. We did what we needed to do.
That's interesting.
Could not be true. Very similar to what happens in the game. You can do whatever you want for the most part.
Right.
But that decision making of gameplay is something that puts Ready or Not away from 99% of the games I play. And again, I'm going to get shit on. People will be like, oh, this game's like that game's like that. Okay, cool, bro. I've only played Ready or Not, and that decision-making in that game is grim. It is grim type shit. So back to this conversation of gameplay and story, okay? I think you can have both realms where you have fantastic story and just bad gameplay. Okay. And I still think it will do decent.
Okay.
You can have great gameplay and not really any story, and just the replayability of it, depending on what the genre of the game is, isn't much.
So you're saying, I'm putting words in your mouth, maybe.
Okay.
So you're saying gameplay is more important than story.
I don't think it's more important necessarily. Okay. There's just different parts. If your game is not fun to play, people won't want to play it. It may have a great story, and it could still have a fantastic story. I guess in my head, I'm not putting it. This is in the lens of someone who wants to purchase a game. Mm-hmm. You come to me. Okay. Hey, this game has great gameplay, but its story is it's not lacking, but it's not a focal point. Is how a lot of developers say it. We're not focusing on story,
right? Which
then, like with Battlefield, it's like, oh, there's no story. Okay, right. You're gonna have great gameplay, but the story is gonna be kind of okay. Not talking about Battlefield, but it's gonna be mid.
Yeah.
Versus, hey, we're gonna have this will be the most revolutionary experience story-wise you've ever had in your life, but the gameplay is kind of meh.
Mid, yeah. I'm of the opinion.
What would you want to do?
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that story. Sorry, I love narrative design. I love story, right? But again, I would have to say that great stories are only greater with great gameplay.
Yeah.
And I would say that if I had an option of which game do I want the game with the brilliant story and the okay gameplay, or the game with the okay story and the fantastic gameplay? I'm taking the fantastic gameplay and the okay story.
Interesting, because I think I would do the opposite. Because I think I've played enough games with fantastic gameplay at this point. I say that, but then I just went on a rant or a tangent about Ready or Not, and the story being like kind of mid. Like it's a cool story, but like it's kind of mid.
But the gameplay is compelling.
But the gameplay's nuts.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think it depends genre-wise for me a lot too. Like we're going to say that a lot throughout this whole time doing this podcast. Like, it depends, but
it does depend. I mean, genre-wise, it does depend. Like for example, if you're playing a game where sometimes you can go into a series that you've already played before.
Yeah.
And for example, if I'm going into, I played most games that I really play and talk about that I loved. Right. It's because the experience was not just great gameplay.
Yeah.
The gameplay were great moments that was piggybacked off of the great narrative design.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I think about games like Assassin's Creed or Ghost of Tsushima or, I mean, my God, whatever I played a lot. And so it's like these experiences are like really compelling. For example, if you go back to Ghost of Tsushima and you think about how empowering you become as Jin Sakai, and then, of course, you have that experience where throughout the experience, you're a samurai. A samurai fights with honor. I don't sneak behind your back like with his uncle in the game.
Correct. Yeah,
he would say things that were kind of slurred. Well, no, he would. The uncle would say things about
he had that
ninjas.
He had that unk mentality though.
Like, but I'm just saying he would say things. No, you're good. He would say things like he despised warriors that didn't fight with honor.
Yeah.
Right. And so Jin Sakai is forced. It's like, bro, I'm fighting the Mongols, and they don't fight with honor.
Yeah.
Right? I'm fighting with honor, and that's why.
Yeah, you saw what happened at the beginning of this goddamn game, right? You saw what happened when we stormed the beach, right? We got our shit kicked in.
Got trashed. So I have to take on these guerrilla warfare tactics, right? And then there's a point in the game where you're doing all this. You even get your uncle out of prison. You save him because of your guerrilla tactics, but then your uncle is so disappointed in you that you took those measures to do that, right? That's great storytelling.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that is what made the gameplay even more worthwhile. What game gives an amazing, very good story? Not amazing, but good story.
But that gameplay's tough.
Gameplay was mid. In the comment section,
Let's
please
see,
put down a name of a few games that had good stories, but the gameplay was like,
Heavy Rain.
Oh my God, phenomenal.
And I'm gonna do Detroit Become Human. Very similar styles. Their games play very similar.
Quantic Dream is the developer.
Are they the developer for both?
Both of them.
Oh, never mind. That makes sense then.
Yeah.
Both of those games,
Stories fire.
utterly insanity.
Stories are fire.
Detroit Become Human is one of those like. Now, look at if you play that game now, you're like, holy fuck!
It's still amazing.
And you're like, holy fuck! That's in 30 years.
But you're about to say something that I'm going to disagree with.
I don't know if Detroit Become Human's gameplay is like, it's just clunky to me. It's a lack of it. It's a lack of gameplay. Yes, you do things with them, but it's a lack of it to me.
Okay. What about Heavy Rain?
Heavy Rain is heavy.
What's the better game?
Detroit Become Human or Heavy Rain? Ooh. Heavy Rain is nuts, too.
So
Heavy Rain is one of those those games where I was like, oh my God. Holy fuck, I gotta stand up, bro.
Heavy Rain was cold.
I'm getting chills from that game, bro. That game is crazy.
So to me, I played both extensively. However, Detroit Become Human had some serious moments. Heavy Rain was the better experience between the two, in my opinion.
Same.
But as far as the gameplay, I don't think Detroit. The gameplay design.
They're deliberate.
It's deliberate. It's purposeful.
100% deliberate.
Okay.
But yeah, stay in touch for the rest of these games coming out. I mean, we're excited to be talking about them and stuff. Yeah, leave comments. Let us know what you guys are up to. Absolutely. Appreciate y'all. See you guys in the next one. Drop your comments and let us know what topics you want to talk about as well. Because we're not running out of topics, but we want to talk about what you guys want to listen to.
Yes,
so give us your comments, give us your ideas. Yeah. We'll continue to develop them as well and develop out the. I don't really know if we're developing out the show when it comes. This is a pretty good look. I kind of like the way this feels.
I like this.
Nice OG, kind of just nice, calm, simple. It's not calm at all, but simple feel.
Yeah.
So, but we appreciate y'all. Hopefully, you guys have a good one. Spread the left, spread joy. We shall see y'all in the next stream, or the next pod. Peace.
All right. Peace.